Hi guys, Gretchen here. I want to talk today about how we handle seasons of silence. We know God wants to speak to us. He's told us He wants to speak to us. Um, we believe He's good. We believe He loves us, yet we go through these seasons where we're not hearing anything. So I want to read today from Exodus 24. One of my favorite scriptures is verse 12. It says, "Then the Lord said to Moses, 'Come up to me on the mountain and be there. And I will give you tablets of stone and the law and commandments which I have written that you may teach them.'" I used to like to just stop in the very first part of that verse. Come up to the mountain and be there. It was one of my favorite scriptures to meditate on because I love being in the presence of God. I love going into the mountain of God to just be with Him, to behold His face, to sit with Him and to soak in His love. And that's great and that's wonderful and it's absolutely necessary. But that verse doesn't stop with the come up and be there. He says, I'm going to give you tablets of stone. I'm going to give you the law and the commandments, and I'm going to give you these things so you can teach them. There was a bigger purpose of just enjoying His presence. God was inviting Moses to receive from Him, to know Him, to know what was on His heart so that He can share it with others. When we come into the presence of God, there's truths and encounters and revelations and things He wants to share with us. And so we come to know Him. As to me, the greatest honor in the world, that we are allowed to come into His presence, to get to know Him and to hear from Him. We shouldn't leave His presence without taking something of Him away, something that we can share with others. But let's look at this, because He tells Moses, come up into the mountain and be there, and I'm going to give you these things. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to teach you so you can teach others. And so he goes up into the mountain. Okay, so he's on another level. Okay, God takes us from glory to glory, from one level to another level, right? We're always growing. We're always transforming more into His image. And so verse 15, it says that Moses went up into the mountain and the cloud covered the mountain. Verse 16, now the glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And on the 7th day, He called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. So I want you to imagine this. God tells you, come on up here and be with me, and I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to tell you things. And you're in the glory for 6 days. He didn't hear anything for 6 days. So would you have given up on the first day and say, well, I came up here. You told me to come into your presence. You're going to speak to me. I was here all day long. Or I was here for like 2 hours, God, and I didn't hear you. I listened for you for 2 hours and I didn't hear you say anything. No, Moses was there for 6 days. It doesn't say that he got discouraged. It doesn't say that he got frustrated or doubted. Well, I guess I can't hear God. Well, maybe I missed God. Maybe God never said this. It doesn't say any of that. It says he was there for 6 days. 6 days, and on the 7th day, God spoke. 6 is the number of man. 6 is the number of our flesh, right? God kept him there. I wrote in my Bible, he was covered in the cloud of glory for 6 days without hearing anything. But Moses didn't leave. 6 is the number of man. The flesh has to end before God speaks. We want to encounter these deeper revelations. And when we hear God all the time, when we read His word and we're hearing Him all the time. I believe God is speaking all of the time. But sometimes we're in a position where we're like, God, I know you have something to share with me. I know you have something to say to me. But yet, maybe we're reasoning. Maybe we're doubting. Maybe we are trying to understand things with our natural mind. we have to come to the end of ourselves. How many of you can say, yeah, you know what? I've come to the end of myself. I know I can't do this. I can't live without him. I can't, I'm an author. I can't write without him. I can't be a good mom without him. I can't be a good wife without him. I can't help the people that he brings across my path. I don't have anything worthwhile really to give anyone. Why would I want to just give somebody myself? I want to give people him. I can't do it on my own. God, I can't do this on my own. I can't do anything without your help. We can't live in this crazy world that we live in right now without his help. We have to come to the end of ourselves and say, you know what? In me dwells no good thing. I need you. I need you to speak. 6 signifies that flesh, that, well, I've been here 2 hours and I haven't heard anything, so I'm done. I'm just gonna go watch TV, or I'm gonna go start my day because I'm not hearing anything. If we can get to that 7th day, that day when we say, God, take over. Take over. You said to take up my cross and to follow you. I am giving you all of me. I can't do anything in my own strength. I want to see what you're doing. I want to hear what you're saying. I want you, no matter what the cost. I am listening, God. I am positioning myself before you to hear what you have to say. Whatever you want to say, even if it's not what I'm hoping you're going to talk about. Maybe I want him to speak about this subject, but he's like, no, we're going to talk about this subject. I'm not going to get frustrated about him not coming the way that I want him to come. I'm coming to the end of myself. And when we come to the end of ourselves on that 7th day, God speaks. And what did he say? It says, let's see, and on the 7th day, he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. The sight of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain in the eyes of the children of Israel. So Moses went into the midst of the cloud and went up into the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. That's another level, you guys. He went from one level on that mountain, and then God calls to him from the cloud, and he invites him, come up a little higher. Come up a little higher. Come into the midst of the cloud. Moses went up higher into that mountain. And there, in that place, God began to speak to him. God began to reveal things to him that he didn't know before. God began to teach him. And he gave him what he promised he would. But first, Moses came to the end of himself. God is saying to us today, I know things have seemed silent when you're going through that dark night. But come to the end of yourselves and know that I am for you. Know that I am with you. Come to the end of yourselves and you will rise into another level of glory. You will see the goodness and the faithfulness of God on this other level of glory as you step into the cloud. Step into the cloud and know that he loves you and he's with you. Step into the cloud so that you can know him. And when you begin to come to that place where you're like, you know what? I want you more than I want anything, more than I want my will, more than I want my way. I want you. I want to live for you with everything that I have. I want to obey you. I want to walk with you. I want to surrender. I want to take up my cross. I want to die to my own limiting beliefs. I want to die to my way and the things that aren't pleasing to you. I willingly lay my life down to have all of you. That's when you get to go into another level. And that's when he begins to reveal himself. That's when you get to know him. To truly know him, you have to come to the end of yourself and want him more than anything else. So I pray that today, if you are in that place and you're saying, you know, I feel frustrated because I'm not hearing him. I pray grace, grace, grace over you, that you would be able to come into that place of trusting him and knowing that there's a reason he's been silent. He's waiting for you to let go and to give yourself to him in a whole new way, to surrender your heart, to love him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and some versions say strength. That's what he wants, because he wants to speak to you. So I pray that today you are going to find yourself in a new posture of surrender, a new posture of completely letting go and yielding yourself to him so that you can find him. You know, Jeremiah 29:13 says, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. That posture of beholding, that posture of longing is a posture of humility, knowing that we need him more than anything else, and that we are seeking him with all of our heart. So I pray that today you would seek him with all of your heart, and that you would let go of any frustrations and know that this is a good thing. The silence is a good thing. You know, when something's quiet and you're trying to listen, you're listening more intently, especially because you know that he loves you and he wants to speak to you. So I pray grace over you today. Thanks for being with me.